Does anybody else hear that? I think we've got a visitor. Well, look, a big hello to everybody. Right, come on, put that away before we get a copyright strike for the noise it's making. But a big hello to you. Welcome here to Monday night. And, of course, Monday night is the Monday Club night. It's great to see you all. And I need to give a big thank you to a number of people. George Botterini, Nuts and Bolts 77. Thank you ever so much for your incredibly generous donations on the Super Chat at the start. Thank you so much for that. It all goes towards helping the channel to be able to do all the things that we've got set out during the week, do all the videos. So I am so eternally grateful to you guys. Thank you so much. I've also got to give a big thanks out because last week I said I talked about the 9F that very kindly been donated to me, and then I went and completely forgot to name check the person who sent it. So I do hope that I've still got the screen grab I took. So this is from, it was from Wayne, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Maritus or Maritz Johns on Patreon. Thank you ever so much for that 9F. We did show you it running last week. Ever so grateful for that as well. It's plugged a big hole in the collection. We also got sent, and I'm going to use the monkey cam actually, so that
can I offer you a spot of tea?
Yes, more tea, Vicar. So I'm turning on the monkey cam here, and the monkey is modelling this very generously sent to us, the TARDIS teapot.
Oh, hello there.
You be careful now. I can see you accidentally dropping that. And there's a big hole next to you. But thank you ever so much for that. And really gratefully received. And I don't have the email to hand to be able to name check the person.
We will find it.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, get me off the camera, please, before it cracks.
Okay, right. So a big hello to everybody. So for some reason my phone's gone. Nah, you didn't want to actually keep an eye on the stream. Apparently something went wrong.
Something's gone wrong. What?
I've got...
that's just you losing a connection.
So just give me a moment.
You personally lost the connection.
Did
Everyone else
I?
is fine, because my monitor's still here.
Apparently something went wrong. So I'm going to go back to YouTube. It does this a lot. Technology. Where is there a small child to get things working when you need one? Oh, this is where it's going to steadfastly refuse to show me my own stream for me to be able to jump back in.
Jump to the Facebook group and grab it from there.
No, just right. So Jennifer, it's a sad day.
People are saying no picture, only sound. Picture and sound are here. Okay, so the people. Let me turn this up.
There seems to be.
I've got sound.
I've got adverts.
I've got sound. So whoever hasn't got sound, turn the volume up.
I think there was some kind of a glitch because I ended up with no picture, but what appeared to be sound at the start. And I've reloaded the stream so I can see myself there. So yeah, log out and log back in. The picture will come up too.
Perhaps the stream needs a doctor.
Yeah, stop it. Come on, behave yourself, monkey. And also, I need to let you know as well, this coming weekend is the Wally virtual show. And I have been asked, actually, to do an interview on the Sunday. So do look out for me on that. And
why on earth would anyone want to interview you? What have you been doing?
I don't know.
What have you done this time?
Well, I'm half expecting, actually, them to say, just before I say, we're really sorry, we thought you were the other Jennifer Kirk. And today's beverage of choice, by the way, is Rioja.
Yes, most people like Rihanna, you like Rioja.
Oh, yes, all the jokes just keep on coming. But yeah, Wally Virtual Model Rail Exhibition this weekend. Plenty of things going on. And this is, of course, instead of the actual normal Wally show, which because of COVID has been cancelled. That seems to have become the phrase of this year, because of COVID. With occasionally you hear despite COVID. So it's one of those things. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you're not already done so. But look, we've got a great turnout, 216 so far. So let's do a bit of name checking. So I can't go back too far because otherwise I'll get completely behind on the chat. Ruben Ashwell, Minnie Wistaston Junction, Pete Clark, Bagnall Dave, Sid Vicious, Leslie Gilpin, David Cook, Richard Swiderski, Robert Ward, Matt Maz 2, Will Tucker, Peter Leyland, Rachel Houston, Rule 1 Model Railways, Peter Reid, Chris's Trains, North End Sidings Model Railway, Not Lobia Model World, Mike and Sue Budham Junction, Southern Train Girl, Flymo Chairman 1, Ham Shackleton, Patrick Ling, Jay, It's My Model Railway, Rule 1 Model Railways, Alan Reynolds, Garthian. I told you he'd spot it.
Yeah, they've already spotted where you put the TARDIS, by the way. You need to move it.
What? What?
Yes, they spotted it immediately.
Immediately?
You put it in an obvious place.
And K9 as well, Garthian, as predicted. And it's like, if anybody else is struggling to... Where's it gone? If struggling to see the TARDIS, we do have a much bigger one somewhere.
We have a visual aid.
Yes, we do have a visual aid. You're looking for one of these. Can you make screen do thing it normally does? Technical monkey. But yeah, so K9 has... I'm going to leave K9 where he is. But the TARDIS, can't believe you guys spotted that already. I had that placed out from ages ago. From the end of last week I put that there thinking, oh, that'll fox them. No. So there we go. Right. Ben Davis, Rob Rushmer, Tony Wright, Dongit's Model Railway. I got like 6 error messages before I got in. Much F5 fixed it. I think there's been a glitch right at the moment that we started, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And yes, Garthian, it is the Sutton Locomotive Works Class 24 in use again. It actually hasn't been taken off that track. It has sat there patiently all week with the same very, very long train of vans. But tonight's theme, as voted for by the patrons of the Jenny Monday Club Facebook group, and you can head on over to Facebook and ask to join that group, and you'll probably be let in. Almost certainly be let in. And you can join in the fun, post updates on your own layouts, etc, etc. But we had a poll on there, and A4 Pacifics came out on top. So I have to say, I've dusted down some A4 Pacifics. So we have got, I think it's Guillemot is on the main line, as is Miles Beaver.
Is it Guillemot or Guillermo?
Guillemot. I'm sure it's a bird. It's not French. It's a bird.
Yeah,
although saying that,
Spanish.
we've also... I'm going to go to the roving cam here, and I want to show you... I have actually got on the layout all of my other A4s. So we've got Golden Plover, and that's a weird one for working out how it's pronounced. So Golden Plover 60031. We've got Dominion of New Zealand 60013. That's actually an older Bachmann model.
Is it Plover or Plover?
It's Plover, is what I've been told.
Okay.
And then we've got what's that? Kingfisher in blue. Just wait for the Class 25 to move out of the way. And this is actually in the full LNER Garter blue livery. But I've had a few issues actually trying to get this to run, and it keeps shorting out the system. So. There's a long-standing fault which I thought I'd fixed, which is why you're seeing the lovely Hornby teak coaches. In fact, there's some just disappearing over there.
Are they antique?
Yes, probably. They're going around pulled by BR Green locomotives. But then we've also got Andrew K. McCosh 60003, and that brings up, I think it's 6 A4s that I've got going on there. So let's just change the camera angle and just put the monkey cam out of the way. So that's my complement of A4s that we got going around. You will see Guillemot and Miles Beaver swishing around with my entire collection actually of Hornby teak coaches. I love those Hornby teak coaches.
You really do.
I do. They're very, very expensive, but well worth the money, even at the prices they're getting to now. What are you doing?
Try the roving cam.
The roving cam.
See what happens.
See what kind of crummy picture you've managed to find.
Nothing's on it. That's not what I wanted. So let's try this again.
I'll move
I just
this.
want an interesting view.
Oh, So we have a new camera angle, courtesy of the Cupboard Monkey, that doesn't really want to appear on the Monkey Cam. So we're just in time to see the Sutton Locomotive Works D5040 going around with that super long rake of vans. I think that's actually almost all of my four-wheel vacuum braked ventilated vans. And in fact, actually, you're going to see in a moment, I think this is Guillemot coming round with the teak coaches. Now, I was lucky enough to actually buy a load of these when they first came out. They were actually considered expensive coaches even then, but certainly I've done all right with them. They're kind of like doubled, if not tripled in price. But they are really, really nice.
Everyone's loving that. They keep spotting the weird stuff I've stuck all over the layout. Jen's not so happy.
Oh dear. Well, we're losing people left, right and centre. The people in the chat has dropped from 245 down to 199.
Not 202 to here.
I think that there are some technical gremlins, so people are having to drop out and drop back in. So for anybody who's having issues with video, you can fix it. You just have to reload YouTube.
Yep.
So do get that message out.
Also, to those that are saying there's a Dalek, there's Davros, there are several more things as well. It is Doctor Who Day, the 57th anniversary, if I remember correctly. So,
unfortunately, I've got a Cupboard Monkey here, and the Cupboard Monkey is obsessed by Doctor Who.
I'm not
so
obsessed,
you
I just
will
really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, something like that. So there is a lot of Doctor Who going on. It has to be said. If that touches my train, I shall be very annoyed.
It shouldn't. It should be just fine.
We've got Woodland Scenics, big hello to you. Lorenzo's Rail Channel. Peter Reed says teak coaches are beautiful. That and some Southeastern and Chatham Railway six-wheelers. Well, we're really looking forward to those coming from Hatton's, the Project Genesis. Still on track, I believe, for next year. Really looking forward to that. And, Cupboard Monkey, you are incorrigible. I'm going to change the camera angle. And as predicted, I don't know about you, I'm getting really hot already.
Yeah, it's quite warm.
It does warm up very quickly up here with two bodies, with Hotbot over there and myself
and
all the equipment.
On the warm side.
I'll turn the fan up a bit actually. Really looking forward.
North End Siding says, Zoe, have you seen the range of Doctor Who toys at B&M Bargains at the moment? Some nice ones and I haven't.
B&M Bargains?
Jen, tomorrow we need to go there.
I think you probably will be, yes. Yeah, we'll get you out of the house down there.
Even if I can't walk very well, I'll still be there.
Brian Harper says, no picture in Canada, only sound. Do try reloading.
I think YouTube's having a lot of problems.
There appears to be YouTube-related problems. All I can say is try and reload it. Mike and Sue Putnam Junction, hi to you. Poshing Tono 1. Andy Laws, Ben Tullett, Davil. Says, went to the local timber merchant to get material for layout extension. He asked what the wood was for. I said my model railway. He replied that they've had lots of railway modelers in lately. Good news. Absolutely. And we've all seen the sales figures from Hornby pulling them finally back in the black. But I've talked with a number of people actually in the industry, retailers. I've talked to John Barber and they've experienced a boom. I know Hatton's have experienced a boom. Some of the smaller model shops as well. And I've also spoken to some of the manufacturers and PD models up in Orkney. I was talking to him and he's saying that some elements of his business have experienced a 70% boom in sales over lockdown. And actually it was interesting talking to him because he does more than just model railway stuff. As Paul Tyre of PD Models, there's a lot of laser cut stuff, 3D printed stuff, some amazing model commissions. If you haven't seen his Old Man of Hoy, then really you need to go and find that and look at it. It is an amazing model that he created. But he says that actually the ship models, the materials for ship modelers have seen some of the biggest increase in sales. And it just goes to show that hobbies have been an amazing crutch for a lot of people through lockdown. And it's just so nice to see that that is continuing. Right, I'm well behind on the chat. Gordon McIlroy says pizza delivery was late. Oh, sorry about that. We've just been eating junk food all day. Andy Laws asks, have you got Union of South Africa? No, I've got Dominion of New Zealand, and that's the only A4 I've got that's named after a country. Because I know there's Union of South Africa, Commonwealth of Australia, Dominion of New Zealand. Was there a Dominion of Canada as well? So that there were a few of them. But the Dominion of New Zealand is the only one which I actually have, and it's an older Bachmann model which actually does hold its own. And it's a good bit of advice to you, is that if you can pick up the older Bachmann A4 Pacific, it's not a bad model. Now, it is a split chassis design, which does make it a little bit tricky to DCC fit, but I did DCC fit my Dominion of New Zealand, and it has run very reliably. It doesn't have the pulling power of the more modern Hornby A4s. Yeah, it's been doing that. It's Guillemot. It's some of these A4s are a little bit on some of the points. But certainly, if you're looking for a much more affordable A4, then don't discount the older split chassis Bachmann models. If you're running on DC, absolutely fine. If you're running on DCC, you can DCC fit them. I can't remember if I actually did a video on that. I did certainly do a video on DCC fitting the Bachmann Class 4 shunter, which is a similar idea behind the chassis, the split chassis, so it can be done. Right. We've got 284 people in. Don't forget to tickle the like and share the stream. Subscribe as well. We've got CSX Wrensville. Lots of people are spotting Davros, actually.
Well, he's very visible, you know.
So, George asks, do you get points for spotting the Dalek? Yes, you do. Go to the top of the class and sharpen the pencils. Flymo Chairman 1, refreshing your browser might work as well. A lot of people suggesting F5. I think it's nothing to do with us, I'm afraid. I think there's a few little issues at YouTube's end, possibly because it's I don't know what else is going on tonight. Yeah. Oh, stop playing. I feel like what's his name from Quantum Leap now.
Al.
Come on, Alf. Come on, Ziggy. It's there we go. We've got Upright O Vision back. Right, Wardle Road, big hello to you, great to have you. Wardle Road, of course, just recently moved into a new house, so we're looking forward to new videos coming from Wardle Road. Don't forget to check out his channel after the stream, of course.
We're looking forward to seeing how he builds his new railway.
Well, he's in that really excellent position, and I had this as well when we moved here. That moment you go, I can build a model railway, you know. I know Callum from SDJR 7F88 as well recently moved into his house, and you could just see the enjoyment on his face when he's talking about the layout he's building there. It is just so great to see when you finally get that permanent space. You don't have to worry about it just being a little bit temporary. So Wardle Road, looking forward to seeing what you're cooking up there. Wamgok says, Jenny, I have 24 N-gauge A4s and 3 3001s. Oh wow, 24 N-gauge ones. Of course, there are at least 31 because Golden Plover is 60031, which does suggest that there's another 30. I know that they were replaced by, was it 22 Class 55 Deltics, which was a much lesser amount, but the thing about a diesel locomotive is they have a much higher availability. Right, the views do seem to be going up and down dramatically. We've dropped 218. So if anybody's struggling with the picture, try reloading YouTube. There does seem to be a glitch on at the moment.
You know, I think we should start providing the option of a new T-shirt. I spotted the blue box on the Monday Club.
Ah, right. Yeah, of course, because Bachmann is commonly referred to as the Blue Box Company. Hornby, of course, being the Red Box Company. So there's like a double meaning in there. I like it. Graham asks, Jenny, do you have a Tornado? I do have an A1.
No, it's just how her hair looks naturally.
I do have, I think it's Aberdonian. So I do have an A1, but it's not actually Tornado. It's Aberdonian. So it is knocking around somewhere. So many locomotives, they do tend to get lost in the chatter at times. Southern Train Girl says, congratulations, Rachel, on winning the cruise sign. Aha! There was a competition on the go. Matuvel says, love my live Steam A4. Pain to get going, but totally worth it. Absolutely, it's a bit like... I'm just waiting for you break it, you buy it. I'm talking to the cupboard monkey there. But yeah, I was going to say something there. My train of thought has derailed and crashed and burned. Yeah, everybody's saying peekaboo, Dalek, TARDIS and open water, Garthian. Of course, Garthian always spots it. Wardle Road, fingers crossed I will be live at 8 p.m. on Wednesday in the new railway room. So set a date in your diary. Michael Brackfield, Empire of India. Yes, that sounds right. I must admit, A4s are one of the class of locos that whenever I see them second hand, pretty much always the super detail Hornby versions, the ones that at the very least have the 8-pin DCC socket in the locomotive, if not in the tender, I tend to pick them up. I have a real soft spot for A4 Pacifics, and I will tend to pick them up in the BR green liveries, although if I'm calling it BR blue or the BR purple. There's actually is it Sir Ralph Wedgwood? I'm not sure which one it is, but it's currently, I've seen Hornby released it earlier in the year in that experimental purple, and I really, really want one. The trouble is, it's like there's always something else which I can more readily justify. I think eventually they'll either sell out or I will get one, but it's about 150 quid. They're not cheap, but I so love that. Right. Frazzle Gun says, I found the TARDIS. I think you got there after Garthian. I think he's got his TARDIS vision specs on. Moreland Model Railway Andy. So yeah, I am well behind with the chat. So right, it's my model railway says, YouTube issues, try reversing the polarity of the neutron flow. Great Scott!
Nice.
What?
Oh, isn't that? Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Nice.
Okay.
It's a good Doctor Who reference. Nice.
Sunshine the Tugs. I thought it was a Back to the Future reference.
Great Scott is Back to the Future.
No.
Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow is what the third Doctor used to say instead of whatever technobabble they gave him that week.
Ah, right. Sunshine the Tug says, hey Jenny, what do you recommend using for small OO gauge layouts? There's a variety of things. On the market, Class 8 is always a good place to start if you want to go for the slightly more modern, although if you get a Class 8 back into the 1950s BR period, they were starting to turn up then. Indeed, I think it's the Class 10 or the Class 11 was an LMS design locomotive. I believe we're going to get one or other of those from Hellion at some point. But also the Class 5 from Hellion in 00 is a really great performing locomotive. On the steam front, W4 Packets, a great performing locomotive, available at the moment in some liveries for about £69. The Ruston 48DS, again, great locomotive, available for around the £65 mark. I'm just looking up there. There's also the Oxford Rail Janus Shunter. That can be had. I know Hatton's was selling them at £49.50, which is an amazing price for what is actually an incredibly reliable locomotive. I'm thinking on the steam front, Hatton's has also got a sale on for the Andrew Barclays and the SECRP classes, and both of those are great locomotives. I can particularly recommend the Andrew Barclay, but the P class is a great locomotive as well. Right. Big hello to FMR Station House. Fifi Cosmos 1966. Hello from France. Big hello to you. Bonjour. And Jay Leon. Hi Jen, new to the hobby. Got my first train in the post. Watched a lot of your vids and loved them. Very inspirational. Thank you ever so much. 57305 Northern Princess. I've got the Great Goodbye A4 set, which cost me £1,000, and poor 60010 Dominion of Canada is broken. Oh my word. I'm sorry to hear that. You could try talking to Hornby about getting it repaired. they may actually just repair it for you. It depends what's wrong and what's caused the being wrong. But Hornby are generally pretty good with customer support. Andy Law says there were 35 A4s. Yeah, that rings a bell. Although one of them didn't make it to be our ownership because it was blown up in the war by a German bomb. I believe the tender did.
You can't have now.
You can't have anything nice, no. Big hello to Hythe Kent, Wamgok, 57305 Northern Princessa, see Amy Pond in a wagon.
Yep.
Rule 1 Model Railways. Pete Clark says, don't exterminate. Frazzle Gun asks, Jenny, what O-gauge engine would you recommend? At the moment, there's some great deals on. Again, Hatton's has got some great deals on. The Daypol 14XX, the 042 auto tank, is an amazing locomotive. The Daypol Class 8 shunter as well. There's some good deals going around with them. Panniers too. Basically, any of the Daypol loco stable are amazing locos at great value. Yeah, Ben Tullett says, Zoe, you need to get one of the Land Rovers made to look like a unit one, like the one Corgi made. I think we've actually got one somewhere over in the... it doesn't say unit on, but it is a military Series 1 Land Rover. Right over in the far corner. No, you're not going to...
Oh, I see it. It's hidden behind a...
Yeah. You're not going to go and reach over because I can imagine
I could get the action cam off there without knocking things over.
Yeah, there'd be like a wake of damaged stuff.
What's wrong with that?
Nuts and Bolts 77, thank you ever so much again for that really generous donation. You and George Botterini right at the start of the stream. Andy Law says, is that a Series 2? No, I think that the Land Rover, if that's what you're talking about, I think that's when you were flying the Dalek over. The Land Rover is a Series 1. Captain Park Junction says, there is a business park and retail park in North Tyneside with streets named after A4 locos when the Silverlink locomotive was housed at the Stevenson Railway Museum. Oh, excellent. Ham Shackleton says, give the tachyon detector a kick. Stephen Camera says, hey Zoe, what's your favourite Doctor Who baddie?
As I said in the chat room, Omega. Omega was...
you never see him particularly, do you?
You see him twice in the classic series. Once in a Peter Davidson serial where he manages to get to Earth, and once in the Three Doctors with John Pertwee. He's a tragic villain because he started out as just a heroic Time Lord that everyone looked up to. He was creating the black hole for the Eye of Harmony that allowed time travel, and he had an accident where everyone thought he was dead and therefore didn't come to his rescue, but actually he was trapped in the antimatter universe and he went completely insane, becoming a villain. So he's a tragic figure. That's why he's my favourite.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, David Scott says, if you're on the Darlington Ring Road, look out for the brick-built A4. Yeah, it's on the A66, I think, where it goes, it's between Darlington and Middlesbrough. I've driven past that many times. And it's an A4 Pacific in full flow with the billowing smoke, but it's made out of bricks. So it's
out of bricks? What?
Seriously, you probably look it up online. But it's really, really impressive.
Marco Luciano says you have a lot of trains.
I do have a few, yeah.
Just a few.
Ben Tullett. EFE BT well tanks are good, but only on a flat-laid track, pulling no more than 2 carriages. I want to say something about this. I know that a lot of people are now talking about the Sam's Trains review, and I have to say I do not agree with Sam's Trains review. I've had one of the BT well tanks since they were actually made by Daypol, or at least DJ Models. And they are a great locomotive. They won Locomotive of the Year in 2011. And I don't agree with a lot of the things that he said about it. In my opinion, the new EFE rail ones, which are exactly the same model, are pretty good. And, you know, in this age where we're seeing locomotives even going up to 300 quid, I've seen them down to about £118. And I'd have no hesitation to buy them. In fact, the London and South Western Railway P Green one I actually do really, really want. But again, it's low down the priority list because I have to justify everything that I buy in terms of being able to film videos. But I may well do that. The problem is if I review the same locomotive that Sam's Trains has done, then I kind of get buried in the backwash and nobody really watches it. But I really disagree with his prognosis. I think it's an excellent model. The one that I've got, it pulls scale length trains. You've got to remember, these things did not haul huge, long trains of coaches or goods trains. And it's been a sterling performer here on Weir Yard and before it on Bolton Trinity Road. So wholeheartedly disagree with his review, but you know, he's entitled to have his own opinion. Right, B2000 Road Toys channel. Hi Jenny, I'm back. These streams are what's making my Mondays fun. Well, thank you ever so much. And I think we're struggling a bit on a number of people in because YouTube is having some kind of a glitch at the moment that is taking away people's picture. All I can say is that it appears to have fixed, so if there's anybody in wondering why they can't see anything, try reloading the stream and hopefully
we keep jumping from anything from 300 to 200.
And
it's almost like there's no way of maintaining a stable connection.
Could be, yeah. Andy Laws also points out the BOC tanks were discounted by £30. Yeah, there's a lot of bargains out there. The Hatton sale in particular, well worth going and having a look through. So there are some really great discounts. Right. Lorenzo's Rail Channel says, hello, do you think you'll ever do a review on a Hornby TTS Crosty 9F? Never say never. It's not high on the list at the moment, but it is certainly one that I would consider doing in the future. Melchester Model Railway, I just bought the new EFE BT well tank. Sam's Trains was right, plastic tap with a lopsided cab. What do you think, Jenny? I think I've kind of made that clear, and I do think it was a deeply unfair review.
He seems to be doing that an awful lot. I don't want to say bad things about a YouTuber, especially when we don't really speak
but
them.
you know, like
but
it's a greenhouse here, and we're chucking stones.
It seems an awful lot like he's having far more poor quality trains than luck would normally suggest.
As I said, he seems to get very unlucky with the models he gets. I've had similar or the same models, and I've not experienced the level of quality control fails that he's had with his models. But anyway, enough about that. Fifi Cosmos 1966 says, hello Jennifer, I like your YouTube channel. Thank you very much.
I know you don't get it. She likes your YouTube channel.
I like what you've done here. It'd be a shame if anything happened to it. Sunshine the Tug, thanks Jenny. Just a few hours ago, my dad bought me an Andrew Barclay, an NCB Black, and a few pieces of track and building for Christmas. That is a really good choice, actually. The NCB Green and the NCB Black Andrew Barclays. Again, two locomotives that I really do want to pick up for my own personal collection. And as I know, pretty much all of you know, the trouble with this hobby is it's very easy to get carried away, and there is so much great stuff out there at the moment. I could spend tens of thousands of pounds and still not have everything that I really like the look of. So there's a lot of things that are kind of, if I saw them at the right price, and Hatton's bringing the price down actually on those Andrew Barclays. I think they're down to about £84. They are amazing value for money. They are great models. I actually have one, and I've got the CPC National. I think it's the CPC. Trying to remember the one that used to be at Trafford Park. I've got that one. It's a lovely model, and I'd have no hesitation getting more. And actually, the NCB Green and the NCB Black ones, they are the two that I keep my eye on, I have to say. As for the P class, I really like the really ornate SECR livery, and there's actually one of them in the sale as well. But I'm very mindful that with the Project Genesis coaches coming out next year, we've also got the improved precedents from Rails as well. It could get incredibly expensive even before we move on to other things, and there's no doubt there'll be new announcements. We've got the 37 and the 55 coming from Accurascale, and actually news that I've done an exclusive interview with Fran Burke of Accurascale. We filmed that this morning, and that's hopefully going to be going out next week. So if you remember the John Barber Rails of Sheffield interview, it's on the similar kind of vein to that, and hopefully we're going to start to put together a series. What?
Are you finished?
I can be.
Okay, because we have an interesting one here that I think you'll like. King Fox Junction says, Jenny, if you changed your layout, what would you change? Because you've commented to me personally that there are certain bits that you wouldn't do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that making railway models is like any other pastime. The more you do it, the better you get. So I've just built Project 009, the Potato Mountain. I keep forgetting, is it Manithtatis? With the Festiniog railway themed.
Manithtatis.
Yeah, the Festiniog themed 009 layout. And the quality of the scenery on that is actually a lot better than the quality of the scenery up here. And when I built that, I did comment that I wish that I'd built Weir Yard to that kind of standard. But I think if I hadn't have built Weir Yard, I wouldn't have been able to build that layout to that kind of standard because it's an evolution. I think that I would have had more topography, more hills, more tunnels, more bridges, multiple layers, and I would have certainly done the fiddle yard underneath differently so that the access to it was better. But it's always the way, isn't it?
So do you want to point to any specific area using the cameras?
I think it's really just odd bits where the scenery could be a lot better. It's a bit flat. I have gone back and kind of renewed areas. I had a lot of fun with the Woodland Scenics static grass applicator.
Yeah, I've done a lot with the sides and the back.
Mersey Wales says, did you catch Sam Strand's EFE Rail BT Whale Tank review? He wasn't a happy bunny. I know, we keep talking about this. I think his review is deeply unfair on the model. He is, of course, entitled to his own opinion. But I personally believe, from my experience with the BT Whale Tank, that it is an excellent model. And in this day and age, actually, you can get it for £118. I've seen it out and about for. I think it still offers good value for money. And I'll be honest, I would love to have the pea green one. In fact, I think it's the one that he reviewed. It's just simply a case of there's so many other things that I have to prioritise spending on. But if EFE Rail wanted me to do my own review and has sent that over, I'm sure that we can work something out. Oh my word. But hey, Alan Reynolds says, PVA J-Cloth Alan is in the loft pinning down the last flexi tracks through my 5-line mainline station. That makes about 75 metres in all. Phew. YouTube channel is Buckland Junction. I'll have to go and look at that. And actually, Alan Reynolds came up, well, he made me aware of the most amazing and inexpensive way of doing landscape using cheap PVA and J-cloth, the sort of blue check cloths. They're undoubtedly called something else in other countries, but I do believe that effectively that blue-white checked cloth that you can buy cheaply that you use for wiping down work surfaces and stuff, they are a really good base. And actually, you could use them with plaster as well. Instead of bandage, you could use the J-cloths dipped into plaster to make landscape as well. So very fair. Are you all right?
No, my back's just twitched.
Oh, the cupboard monkey has had a lot of back issues at the moment. So, do you need to lie down flat on the floor? Has it actually gone out completely?
It's the old injury. I've got an injury right in the middle of my back I fell badly in a game of basketball. And it's popped ever since. Now and again. And
you could have a damaged disc, Graham asked, do you have any Class 142 Pacers in your collection? I don't, actually. Again, there's a huge gaping... do you need to go downstairs?
Do
you need a hand?
Let me just sit here and see if it pops back in.
I would offer you a cushion, but I don't have one. Just wondering what we've got that you can sort of stick behind you to kind of try and cushion you a bit.
Nothing at all.
I'm
gonna go and try and find it.
Right, I'm gonna. Hello to JJ Williams, 1984, Moreland Model Railway, Andy. Let's just having a look through. Yeah, Southern Train Girl says Sam's train seems to be unlucky with his locos lately. It's always unlucky, it seems.
He has disproportionately bad luck. And perhaps he's just taken one for the team so everyone else gets the goods.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine, you can just imagine the courier delivery service drop kicking his parcel through the gate or something. But he does seem to get awfully bad luck with some of these. Although he did like the Dapol Mogul. I've got one on the turntable back there. Just filmed a review on it. I liked it as well, but I think we finally found a Dapol locomotive that he likes. Right. And just we've got lots of people talking about Doctor Who. We're not really a Doctor Who channel. Big hello to J94. Says BT well tanks look cool. Of course they do. BT well tanks are cool. So what we're going to do is let's find my BT well tank. Where are you? There you are. So I do have a BT well tank. So I'm just going to hold that up there. There is my BT well tank, and she is a sterling performer. So much so that let us consider how are we going to. Can I get her to bank a train? I probably can, you know. What have we got? 3086. So let's get the BT well going. 3086. Boosh, boosh, boosh. And make sure it goes in the right direction before I dump it on the track. Come on, you. I got the right number, 3086. 30. I think it's reset itself. It's not been running so long. So, sometimes you find this DCC decoders sort of reset themselves. So, read on the program track. Perhaps that will wake it up. 127. Why is it on 127? I think it's got dirty wheels, possibly. 127. That strikes me as being a little bit of an error. I think 127 is an error message. So let me just try that. I'm just.
Have you broken stuff? Do you need a doctor?
I'm getting an error message, I think. So let's just try resetting that on the program track. Loco address 3086. 3086. Let's see if we can. I think it's basically just forgotten its. Okay. And let's just go back to 3086. Will she burst into life?
Richard Swiderski saying reset CV8 to 8.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We've got an issue with.
Chris's train says feel better Zoe, getting older is way overing. I'm not old, I'm classic, I'm vintage.
Yeah, so yes, vintage, eh?
Out of warranty.
Yeah, I think that's probably closer to the truth. So CV8, reset to 8. Okay, so program track.
Maurizio
I'm getting
Vapore Vivo says bye from Italy. See you later, Maurizio.
It's been great having you in the stream. Hope to see you later. I've got a DCC decoder issue here, it seems. So,
I have one question to ask, Jen.
What?
Is a BT well tank that breaks an unwell tank?
Possibly. So, oh, what a surprise! There will be no surprises that it's a laced DCC decoder from back in the days before I realised that they were using pirated hardware. So I have a feeling that we have got a blown decoder in here. So it's something that at the time I didn't know that laced decoders were effectively they didn't license, just acquired the firmware from, I think it's the Zen version 3 decoders.
They did a mega yoink, did they?
Something like that.
Manton in 1956, a man after my own heart. Get well, Zoe. Hockey season is coming soon. It is. Go Blues.
So this is very peculiar.
You're very peculiar.
Yeah. So
This whole system's very peculiar.
yes, it is. Right, let's just. I like this about it. So you can just pull the chip out on a set of wires, and
North End Siding says, Lace DCC strikes again. I've had their wiring literally just fall off from poor soldering. Sounds about right.
if you put it in backwards, nothing happens. So I think that I think I have got another 6-pin decoder. Can't remember whether this is one that was suspect in having popped or not.
J. Paul Anderson says that some of your reviews, Jen, are way too generous.
Ooh.
The only models that would warrant some of the top grades you've given would be Micro Meta Kit or Fulgurex. What would you say about your scoring method?
Right, my scoring method. Yeah, I understand that I can be seen to be a little bit generous, but all models that I review kind of go through an initial like a selection process, I suppose. I won't buy a model which I know that has no interest to me or that I'm not going to like. So it's kind of pre-checked out, as it were. So you know, locomotives which I know are going to score badly, I just don't buy. Let me just see if I can get this to
Anthony 1956 says, "Go Predators!" No, the Blues, man.
I'm having a lot of trouble with this. After
Paul M3KQE says you should have stayed with DC.
oh,
Sometimes you wish you had, don't you?
you keep reading out the comments whilst I try and work out which way round.
Would you say you have regrets about DCC, Jen?
No, none at all. I like the way that DCC allows you to basically not have loads of electrical sections on your layout. Any locomotive can get access all areas. You know, there's a lot more plus points in my opinion.
There seems to be a lot more capacity for automation.
Very much. I've got another dud decoder here actually. I was suspicious that this was a dud. I had an issue DCC fitting the Hornby Terrier. I kind of tried to force in a really nice Trainomatic decoder, and I managed to somehow damage one of the surface mount components. I kick myself because these are really nice decoders, but I can't get it to work.
A lot of people are saying that your scoring isn't so much generous as you have a more rounded view of expectations.
There is that as well. I mean, you've got to remember that I am into my 40s. I'm in my 4th decade of... actually, no, am I in my 5th?
You're in your 5th decade.
I'm in my 5th decade of existence. And I think it does give you a little bit more of a rounded view. I understand... Oh, yeah, sorry. I understand the work that goes into making models as well. So I think that does give me a different perspective. You know, if you want somebody who doesn't take into account the work that goes into making any model, then yeah, sure, Sam's Trains reviews great. But I understand the work that goes into making models, and I think my reviews do tend to reflect that. I mean, yeah, manufacturers do occasionally send me review samples. I don't believe that they send Sam's Trains any, or if they offer, he, as far as I'm aware, doesn't accept. But, you know, magazines get them as well. I'm having real difficulties with this.
Tim Condrup says one of the locomotives is stopped, but I don't know which one. There are 2 on shuttles. They tend to stop and then move back.
All the ones that should be running, I believe, are running. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the trains that should be running are running. Let's have a look. CV.
But yeah, with regard to scores, basically, the way you score is everyone starts at 100%.
Yeah.
And then you take points off if there are problems.
Yeah, and I don't look for faults.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, every model is 100% unless something on it says otherwise to me. Yeah, I've got a dead decoder here.
That's a shame. Whereas a lot of reviewers don't go from that. They go for the standard thing of maybe it starts out at 50%, or maybe it starts at 0 and you have to justify everything.
Yeah, and
There are arguments either way, aren't there?
Yeah, I think it's unfair on stuff doing that potentially. This Lace DCC decoder, and this everybody is why buying cheap isn't necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, if you buy.
So I'm just...
Michael Stevens says, "This is the Sam slag off." No, we're just talking about review scores and how different people do it.
People were just asking about why I seem to be very generous. So we're just saying we're not slagging off Sam at all.
Like we said, there are different ways of doing it. Jen starts at 100%. Maybe Sam starts at 50% or 0%.
I don't know.
There are arguments to be made for any version, and that's why you should always have a look at multiple reviews and find the one that really works for you.
Very much. Right, I keep getting, does anybody know what it means when your loco does a big jolt on the programming?
I'm going to remove Rowan Langley here because that is not acceptable.
What have they done?
Saying Sam Strange is right because he's honest and you're not. No, we will not have that.
No.
We expect politeness. We're polite and we expect you to be polite in response. So, you're gone. That's just not acceptable. We do not slag other people off. We don't expect people to come in here and slag us off.
I know that some people think that I've got an axe to grind, and I haven't. I just think that he does get very unlucky with some of the models. I don't agree with the outcome of some of his reviews, and I'm entitled to that opinion as much as he is entitled to his.
Exactly.
And in terms of what started, it was actually the BT well tank. It's a bit embarrassing, actually. I'm trying to get mine to work. It won't work. But it's a DCC decoder issue. But certainly, I didn't agree with his review. I felt that it was unduly harsh on a model that didn't deserve the rap that it got. I mean, I think it was described as plastic tat. No, I mean, it's the EFE model is the same as this. I'm looking at it. Yeah, there's a lot of plastic components, but this is the model that was voted Model of the Year in 2011. I know that that's 9 years ago. Things have moved on, but it's the same model as back then, and the price actually isn't that much more than it was back in 2011. It was considered an expensive locomotive when it came out, and there are reasons for the price rises. When I did the interview with John Barber, we did, credit due to John Barber, he did actually talk a little bit about the reasons for the price rise. It is not profiteering. There are genuine reasons why prices have gone up, and you could argue that it's not a question of prices going up too much. Perhaps you could argue that prices were artificially low for a long period of time. When you inflation adjust the prices of models to what they were, say, in the 1950s, 1960s, 1990s even, 1980s, we're actually on a par with the real world value of what they were back then. And it's an interesting point to make that actually, in terms of prices, they're about now where they should have been had the real world value of your pound and that locomotive gone up with inflation. Does that make sense? Or am I talking
rubbish?
We had a
similar thing with computer games. This new generation that's just started with the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Don't worry, I won't stay on this topic too long. The prices of games are now £70, and people went, "Why are they Why have they gone up by £10 just because the generation skipped? I'm not paying that much; it's too expensive." Which is a fair point. People have got used to the fact that for the last 15 or so years, they were £60 or £50 even for some. So people got used to that price. But the fact is that the value of a pound has gone down over 15 years, so £50 and £60 is not the same amount anymore, so they had to go up. and it's just how it is.
Yeah, and Somerset Andy, absolutely right. It's what I was trying to say. As I said before, he's entitled to his opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. So that everyone can have their say with a review. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is that you don't have to rely on what one outlet says. You can shop around. You can get a view of what people think. It's interesting to say that actually, with the reason I think people have brought this up and why the BT well tank has been considered a bit controversial. When you go over to RM Web, there's not one but two threads where this is cropped up. And the general consensus of what people who already own these models is saying is that they don't agree with his reviews. You know, he's entitled to his review. Nobody can dictate to him what he thinks, and you know,
no one should try to dictate to him
no.
what he
And
thinks.
it's like if anybody watched there's the film about Howard Stern and the lawyer who says, I don't agree with what you say, but I will fight to the end for your right to say it.
Yes.
And it's absolutely true. And you know, at the end of the day, Sam's got the best approach to this. He really doesn't care when people criticise him. It's like, you know, it's Teflon Sam. It's just like, don't care. And it's actually a really great way to approach these things.
Yeah, and that's it. He's got an opinion, we've got an opinion. You can... Oh. Jen, what have you done?
The ghost of Sam is in.
Did you just stop all the trains?
No, I didn't.
But it hasn't beeped.
No, it's... I've got a loose connection somewhere under here.
Okay, well, while you're fiddling with that, Steve Cameron says, are you feeling any better, Zoe? No. I've just got a cushion behind me to try and prop me up so that I can keep going.
Right, so I think actually at that point we'll take it as being the long reach of Sam going, shut up, not interested. So, right, anyway. Right, what have we got here? I will read out a few actually. I mean, this is topical. At the end of the day, if he can sail close to the wind, so can we.
After we finish with this topic, shall we talk about the news?
Yeah. Do we have news?
I thought there was some news. Isn't there something being announced in a release or something?
Yeah. Wamgok says, great to see you and Sam on a live stream together. He has actually, I did ask him about doing a collaborative and he did ostensibly say yes. We need to work it out. Maybe I'll fit him into my...
for Christmas.
Yeah, I'll do an interview or something if he's interested in doing that. I think it would be really great to get his point of view.
Because let's face it, at the moment we're basically defending a guy that's not here.
Yeah, I mean we're criticising him as well. Let's not beat around the bush.
I'm not saying we don't criticise. We criticise anyone who needs a bit of criticism. I'll criticise you when you say something that I don't agree with.
Did anybody actually give me the answer on that? What does it mean if when you try and read a decoder, it just immediately jumps once and gives you 127? I think it's an error code. We're on a Gauge Master Prodigy Express. I think 127 that it's churning up there is some kind of error code, but I don't know what it means. Lee Holden asks, Jenny, which version of the 9F did you go for? It was the one I was sent was in BR Black, and it's 92. I think it's something like 92492 or something like that, or 92192. In fact, let me try and find it. Yeah, it's 92192 in BR Black. This is the Backman one, very, very kindly sent over by a Patreon. I'm not going to put it there because it's just going to get mown down by the locomotive on the shuttle. Oh, ow. There we go. All right. So we're going to get a lot of hate mail. It's interesting actually when you can you get an immediate response. I get loads of hate mail and then people go and Daddy was slagging you off.
Except you're not. We're having an open discussion. And he is, of course, welcome to join in.
Yeah, Ben Tellett says, only issue on my Terrier, missing smokebox dart, but Rails of Sheffield did send me a new smokebox dart for free when I asked them nicely. Donald Thompson says, evening, Sam did say where he made the purchase and how much he paid for the model. His main complaint, I think, was the price. He did say if it was £75, he would agree with it. Yes, but then the company making it would effectively be giving it away for free. Certainly the companies, between the company selling it and the company making it. And that's the problem. I think people have an unrealistic expectation of what these things cost to make. I mean, right.
While you're looking, hello to Sir Patrick Furlong.
Nice to see you. But there, look at that. From the outside, an iPhone. Well, it's tiny. There's not much going on. How could you fit much inside that? Why does it cost, was it like 300, 400 quid?
600.
600. Why does it cost so much? Because it costs so much to develop and make. Now, I know...
No, you've got the wrong end of the stick there, Jen.
Oh, the profiteering.
Yeah, Apple always overcharge because they do what's called market skimming. They create an idea that their product has value because it's their product. And then they charge more
is this
for
the
it.
Adidas or Reebok trainer effect?
Yes.
Okay, poor example. But these things, there's a lot of fiddly parts. Now... If you, it would be interesting actually, maybe I should actually ask one of the manufacturers, could you send over one of your locomotives but not assembled? So just send me the locomotive in the parts that somebody in a factory in China has to put together and see actually just how long it takes and how difficult it is to do. I think that might be a very interesting way of demonstrating what goes into one of these. But I think it's safe to say that a lace DCC decoder has bitten the dust.
Yeah.
But
so let's move on. It's My Model Railway says error code 127. On a PC it means the command could not be run because the command could not be found in the current path environment. This message may be caused by a bad path statement, which basically, perhaps something in the chip is just not listening.
It's almost like the memory isn't remembering what it is. Now, it's letting me program it. When I send it, I program the address. You see it shuffle, and you can count the pulses and work out in, I think it's binary, what number it's being sent. It's recognizing that it's being sent a number, but it doesn't appear to be remembering it. So what I might do actually is I'm gonna stuff all this back in there.
Woodland Scenics says sorry, but at the end of the day, it's a business and you don't give things away. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you don't like the price, don't buy it. And it is very mercenary in a way to be saying that, but quite simply, it's not a charity. They have to make money, and it's not just, there's not just like one person going, ha 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 ha, all these silly model railway people paying me money. No, there's a whole livelihood of hundreds, if not thousands, of people behind these. You're talking about people who run the factories, the people who work in the factories, the design team, the R&D team, tool makers, then Backman, got the marketing, the distribution. Also have the retailers. Well, you've got to remember the manufacture of it and like the Backman side of things, that's only half the story. Once they get it, it's then got to be wholesaled out to a retailer who has all their own overheads, things like rent, things like mortgage, bills to pay, council tax. They've got to pay for the stuff. They've got to have money tied up in stock. Overheads, got to pay themselves a salary, they've got to pay their other employees a salary, and then they get to sell it. And actually the markup on these isn't as big as you'd think, and they don't, they're not the kind of thing that you're selling tens of thousands. So it's not like you can say, well, okay, stack them high, sell them cheap. They don't work like that. You might be lucky to sell maybe 1,000 of them. What you're looking at me with that, like, hurry it up.
Tonight's Open University lecture was brought to you by the Jenny Kirk Business School. For more information, visit www.jenniferkirktalksquitealot.com. We've got a message here which might help you out. North End Sidings Model Railway says, try setting CV29 to a value of 02. That helps sometimes as it turns off DC running.
Interesting. It thinks it's set to number 127. I thought, you know what, I'll just see what happens. It's responding to number 127.
So maybe it wasn't an error code.
It thinks it's number
Z
100.
Fantasy Train says, I love her lectures. You've got a fan now. You could open the Jenny Kirk Business School. It'll probably last longer than Trump University did.
Yeah. Well, okay. Riddle me this, people. Why would it ignore being programmed, but has decided it is number 127? So, what was that CV that somebody said? Let's try.
CV 29202.
02.
And also, it's decided to come alive and choose its own name.
Yes.
It wants you to respect its life choices.
So, what was the CV again? So, let me just see.
You're terrible.
Yeah,
with this, aren't you?
CV
Right,
what? 29?
Give me a second to find it again. Yeah, try setting CV29 to value 02.
Okay, to 2.
Paul Jessen says, thank you for the endorsement of Jenny's Business School. Also, program CV1 to a value of 03, because that will force an address value.
Okay, so CV, which CV was that? CV2?
CV1 to a value of 3.
Oh, hold on. CV1 to a value of 3. Too complicated.
And Graham Kane says an address of 127 sounds like it's getting confused between long and short addresses.
So CV1 to 3.
Yes.
And does that now mean that it's on number 3?
I don't know. But Hamshackton says it may be that the decoder won't accept a 4-digit ID anymore, but will accept a 3-digit one.
So how do I force it to... Yeah, now it's set to number 3. Right, we seem to be fixing this. Thank you, people. This is very, very useful information. So if I now program it, let's see. So
Sir Patrick says, is that one of the Cybermen I sent to Zoe I can see in the background? Maybe. Yes, there are a fair few of the Doctor Who toys that we're showing off tonight, since it's Doctor Who's anniversary, were sent to the channel by Sir Patrick Furlong. So here is one of his Daleks. Exterminate, exterminate, exterminate the bad trains. Thank you so much to Sir Patrick for his donation. It was
3086, it appears to have fixed it. Wow.
Well done, Jen. Well done.
So I'm not quite sure what it is that I've actually done, and I've basically been guided by you guys, but that is useful knowledge. A chip that I thought was fit only for the bin now works again. So thank you ever so much for that, people.
Graham Kane says using 4 digits makes the decoder think it needs a long address. Hey, it's going.
Of course it's going.
Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo-choo.
So what I'm going to do is the BT well tank is now going along, banking the back of that long train. So you will now see the BT well tank running. Finally got that fixed. Right, anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Wow. Patrick says he still has another 12 model Daleks on his shelf. My goodness, he's got an army of Daleks.
Right,
Don't mess with Sir Patrick.
Right. Ben Davis says, out of the A4, want your favourite one, Jennifer E. Kirk, in real life and model train versions. Silver King is the one that I want in model form, in BR green with early crest, and the reason for that is because my childhood model train, in fact the first tender locomotive I got when I was very, very young was a Hornby 00 Silver King in that exact same livery number. I think it's 60016. Love to see that turn up super detailed in that livery. I keep bugging Simon Kohler. He keeps studiously smiling and ignoring me. I don't know whether that means that there's one in the works or whether it's like, no, we're not doing that one. But never play poker with Simon Kohler. He has an amazing poker face. He really doesn't let anything slip. Even if Hornby is planning the exact model you're asking him about, he will with a straight face go, oh, well, you know, we've not really thought about that.
No plans.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, Flammer Chairman 1 says, fix and stuff, it's what the Monday Club's all about. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we love this show so much. Everyone learns.
Yeah.
It's either because of a video, you see a new technique, or because of the chat, we're picking up some information, but no one's an expert in everything, and everyone learns a little bit of something.
Yeah, and I'm actually very impressed. That little fix I honestly thought I was going to be throwing away that lace decoder. I thought, lace decoder, everybody says that they're unreliable. And actually, maybe a lot that people are saying, oh, well, it just broke on me. Maybe they just did that. I know that there are glitches. I spoke to DCC Concepts, and they said that one of the reasons that they're now selling the version 12 Zen decoders is because they go through iterations of updates, adding extra features, but also getting rid of any glitches or problems that have subsequently been found. So what we may actually be dealing with there is a known glitch with the version 3 of the Zen decoder. And it may be, if I speak to DCC Concepts, they'll go, well, actually, yeah, we experienced that. That's why the version 4 came out. Right. Gonads 1259 says, throw it away, Jen. It's unreliable. Oh, yeah, I'm just made of money. Let's just throw the money away. Yeah, because at the risk of starting another flame war, asbestos suit on, it is one of the reasons that we have stuff like Patreon is to be able to afford stuff, because contrary to what some of the trolls think, I don't just get given everything. Most of what I have, I've had to buy, and a lot of stuff, I mean, it's I don't begrudge it, but I do buy models, for example, based on what I think will work well in a review, as much as what I actually would like for my own collection.
Yeah, so it's like 60-40 to what you would actually run, isn't it?
Yeah, and what it actually means is that sometimes I'll see a locomotive that I really want, like the experimental purple A4, and I can't justify it because I've already reviewed A4s not once, not twice, but 3 times over the years. And most recently was Miles Beaver. I reviewed that because it's the most up-to-date version from Hornby, and it meant that I couldn't justify it, and it's about £150
it's
for
a
that.
fair amount, and it does.
Yeah, because we're on a budget here, people.
Well, isn't everyone? That's it. At the end of the day, we've all got a budget, and you've got to work with what you think works. And at the end of the day, you're an entertainer as much as a modeler. We've got an interesting question here that's certainly not going to cause an argument. Darren Mould says,
You think?
what is considered to be the best DCC controller?
Controller? I don't have any experience, realistically, of DCC controllers other than my Gauge Master Prodigy Express, which is actually, what I've seen in write-ups, is it's considered a very good starter system, but people do tend to move on to other things. So I can't provide you with an opinion. I can tell you about DCC decoders because I've had a lot of experience. I've reviewed several different brands of decoders over the years, and I've used a lot more as well. But I can't. I have no opinion. I can't form an opinion on the controllers because I don't have the experience.
Your Prodigy Express, that's the one that can't set off DCC functions, isn't it?
What do you mean you can't set off DCC?
For example, you can't control stuff that's set into the model using your controller. It only does the locomotives. I've heard that a few times when I was looking up your error commands.
There's certain things it can't do.
Yeah.
Gwian Reese Davies says the DR5000 by DigiKeys, I think that is. Dawn gets Mother Railway. Ooh, Flame War territory. Different people like different controls. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I know that people bring up Sam's Trains because they go, hey, this will be good. Get the popcorn out. And it gives a good debate. But I don't actually know. He probably studiously ignores me, or maybe he knocks me in his stream. I don't know. Nobody tells me.
Well, that's fair. So everyone's allowed their opinion. And
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the same thing with the controller is the same thing with reviewers. You like what you like.
Yeah, and let's face it. I mean, I could reel off the name of like half a dozen people who think I'm a tosser. Probably fine.
Language, my dear.
No, they like to toss the caber in the Scottish games. Right, anyway.
Yeah, there are lots of people who don't agree with your views, and that's perfectly fine. They are welcome to
There are
views.
people who draw offence from the fact that I exist and draw breath.
Yeah.
Melchester Motherwell says, I went for Prodigy Advance as Gauge Master has a good reputation. Yes, they do, but one word of warning, looks at this. on RM Web spotted this whilst I was reading up before the stream on a number of different things, that the Gauge Master's famous lifetime warranty does not apply to the handheld elements of the DCC controllers. The base unit, which on my layout is tucked away underneath, that is actually plugged to the mains, that I believe does have a lifetime warranty, but the handset does not. I know that Gauge Master very famously offer lifetime warranty on the DC controllers, so do bear that in mind. And they do wear out. I've heard of instances where the little dial wears out and the other things, most notably the connectors, can let go as well.
Sadly, that's true of pretty much anything that's got a moving part.
But also, this is a computer.
Yeah, the chips they could overheat if you use it too long, or you leave it next to a radiator.
Or they just decide to expire in the same way that if you ran up a 386 computer SX25, see, I know my stuff, every single day and use that as your daily typer, then at some point it'll just go no, and you'll get the green screen of death or whatever, and computer says no. So in there is, ironically, there's probably more processing. In fact, no, I guarantee you there is more processing power in this than there was on the Apollo spacecraft for putting the man on the moon.
Yeah, people always use that comparison, but the fact is you don't need an awful lot of computing power to angle a rocket in the right direction and then set off some fireworks.
But
okay, we've got an interesting question here which you may enjoy. Breezer707 says, I need your help and advice. I believe you have a Hornby Adams radio. How did you get on fitting a DCC decoder in it?
I do not have the Hornby Adams radial. I have the Oxford Rail Adams radial, which I will try and locate. There it is. I actually bought and reviewed the Oxford Rail version. So we got it here in the really quite beautiful London and South Western Railway pea green. And DCC fitting the Oxford Rail version is dead easy. You just take 2 screws off, from what I remember. The cab and rear bunker slides off, very similar from what I remember to the Lancashire and Yorkshire Aspinall radial tank does. And there's just an 8-pin socket in there. I could not tell you how it works with the Hornby version, but I suspect it's not too difficult, but couldn't tell you for certain. Are you all right over there?
No, my back is killing me.
Ooh. Do you need to go and lie down in a darkened room somewhere?
Light will not change things. My back is just killing me. I'm in really bad shape.
Yeah, you are actually. I think we need to get you out of the house and go walk about. But beverage of choice is Rioch Car. And if anybody gets that reference, then yes, great TV program. Loved that back in the day. Really want to see those fingers. Really want to see those.
Not sure what this question is. 57305 Northern Princess says, Jen, is your track bent? The A4 Antiques are on by K9.
My track bent by
K9.
I think there's a kink. Yeah, there, I can see it go around. There is a kink in the track, and it's basically, and it's one of the things that I had to chuckle when somebody levelled the criticism against me when Terriergate was ongoing, and another thing that I waded into and had a differing opinion from another a YouTube reviewer. And somebody actually, it's amazing how they compliment you when it serves their aims to diss you. They said, oh, well, but your track is perfectly laid, so of course it's going to run fine. Exhibit A, kinky track.
Jen has never perfectly laid track in her life.
I have gradients that I've got a. If anybody wants a slightly used spirit level that doesn't blooming well work, I've got one which, when you lay the baseboard, says level, but then when you lay the track, says anything but. So no, my track. As much of a backhanded compliment that was, my track is actually a.
Switch the picture, will you? We've got no trains.
Oh yeah. There we are.
So you pick a one that's got no trains.
Oh, okay, well let's go with this one then. Yay!
Oh, we haven't had that one for a while. Yes, very nice.
Oh,
Very
right.
nice.
And there's going to be Darthian will wake up now. John Nutman says, "Hi, what's the tank behind the freight over the back?" The tank. Over the freight at the back. The tank. Over the. I'm not sure.
George says, "Ah, yes, the
Not
kink.
sure.
I hate that kink with a passion. Gets my mild OCD triggered."
Oh yeah, yes.
Yep, Darthian woke up and went, "TARDIS!"
yes, definitely. Right, Melchester Model Railway. Can we see the kink?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, the kink. I was going to say leave that be because that was a really good location.
I can
Right.
put it back.
The kink. If I can just move in here. So you can just see by K9 there. The track kinks. It's not the worst kink on the layout, but it's definitely there. It doesn't really show up so well on this. I think.
When a train goes over it, you'll see them wobble.
Yeah, let's just try not to snag the cable. I can see the kink there. So when
Oh yeah.
are people saying, "Oh yeah, I see it,"
No, I'm seeing it.
you'll see left and right. Look at the way the coaches are snaking. Yeah. We're seeing it. People saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen it."
Well, there we are.
But then, if I can get over to it, I don't know. Can people see that kink there? Is it obvious?
I've just unlocked that for you so you can move around. Right. Oh my goodness.
Yes. There you go. Exhibit B.
Yeah, you're not very good at this track then thing, are you?
Not as good as I'd like to be. So, people.
Going out to 12:59 says, "Should have used a track setter, Jen."
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Didn't.
You shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. So, if people actually no, we haven't had that angle for a while. Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Nick, twist fault. Yeah. And that kink, the second one I've just shown you, and that is the bane of my life because that is where things do derail. The kink actually makes it about radius -2 for a very brief moment. So what you find is that the front wheels on a lot of locomotives just pop off the track.
Rule 1 Modern Railway says, "Oh no, I will see that every time I see your videos now."
I think what I'm going to do is actually, and a top tip for you, because I use, like a lot of people, watered down PVA to fix the ballast in place. I will boil the kettle. I will pour out a mug of boiling water and then I will use a syringe to dribble that onto the ballast. What that actually does is it softens the PVA, and I will take up that piece of track and relay it such that that kink hopefully disappears, and then I'll reballast it. But it's on the to-do list. Right. Ron Stanbridge, big hello to you. Laying 7¼ inch per track panels tomorrow and been building the panels for the last week. Excellent. I'd love to actually build a much bigger model railway in the garden. I must admit. And news, yeah, was that you said there was some news? What news have you got?
News? We've put out a few press releases on the channel this week, haven't we? I'll bring up the Monday Club Facebook page, which everyone is welcome to join. Remember, it is your club.
Yeah.
You get to chat about. Okay, I can't bring it up because I can't remember my Facebook login. So I will give you this phone with the thing up. Oh my goodness! Chairman, I'm really hurt.
Yeah. Funnily enough, right, news that I can talk about. TV World. What's going on in TV World?
Are you on Crime Watch again as a shelf?
No. But TV World, right.
Have they upgraded you to a floor cloth?
I don't know whether I'm allowed to talk about any of the TV work I'm doing, you know.
There you go. That's your...
Oh, yes. Of course. Of course. The Pta Wagons from Acura Scale. Mine has actually turned up. I've got a full pack of, I think it's 5 wagons. And the box is superb, actually. It is so well presented. No, you take care of your back there. Don't worry about it. It's going to be the subject.
Shall I go and get it?
If you want to go and get it, you can. Be careful you don't tip them all out of the box.
What's that, tip them all
But
out?
Acura
Okay.
Scale have very kindly sent over a pack, and they've got working tail lights as well. This is a feature that I've not seen ready to run on a wagon before. I'm sure somebody will correct me if that's not the case, but certainly it's the first that I've seen. It takes a CR, I think it's 2032 battery, essentially
That's a
computer
watch battery, isn't
No, it's a
it?
computer CMOS battery.
Yes.
Yes. So they look to be potentially the wagon of the year. I mean, we have been spoilt rotten. Even though it's been locked down, we have had such an amazing amount of stuff come through. It has to be said, so many amazing models, and Acura Scale have definitely delivered with these PTAs, available in a number of different liveries from when they were first introduced in the 1970s. I hadn't realised actually quite how old these were, and they will be the perfect accompaniment for the forthcoming Acura Scale Class 37s. Indeed, some of the longest and heaviest, in fact, well, not longest, but certainly some of the heaviest trains ever to run on Britain's railways. So heavy indeed that they triple-headed Class 37s down all these, and later on double-headed Class 56s with these iron ore bogie hoppers. They ran to places like Concert Steelworks, were visited by them, and then
This
later
is a
on...
really nice looking package. They've presented
Yeah,
this
it is.
so well.
Just give it here. So, we've got it here. This is the little sneak peek of the Acura Scale PTA stroke JTA JUA wagons, because of course they did get recoded later on in life, got sold to, I think it was Procore Rail, who hired them out. They did a lot of aggregate work. But you can see inside that we've got a lovely set inside here.
You've got a lovely set, have you?
Yeah, I do have a lovely set, and they're actually, what I hadn't realised until I read the accompanying blurb is that the orange stripes actually mean something, and it's to do with rotating couplings. What's wrong? Oh, right, sorry, I didn't. So there we have it. This is the Acura Scale PTA 5-pack in the, I think this is the original British Steel livery, but the orange stripes,
Do you
you
want to
see.
get one out and show it?
Yeah, why not? So what actually intrigued me, let's see if I can actually find, where's the one with the tail lamp? It's not that one. So, tail lamp, where are you?
Paul O'Donovan says, while you're looking, greetings from Ireland. Are there any new announcements being made at the virtual Wally show at the weekend? Me and my family went to the show last year, and Hellion always made announcements.
I believe there's almost certainly going to be announcements being made. As to what they are, I don't know, because they're being announced at the weekend.
They won't tell you.
Yeah, well, no, of course they won't tell me. It's
is
a
quite
secret.
nice.
But if you look, I mean, these, and there's a lovely weight to them, but look at that exquisite underframe detail, the bogies. And this is the final wagon in the rake, so to speak. And that tail light there that you see on the wagon will work. I've got to fit the battery, which fits in unobtrusively under the floor. But that is a working. It goes underneath the floor.
Oh,
in the
see,
wagon.
there's not even a mark where we would see it.
Not even a mark. I need to follow the instructions with a little screwdriver just to lift the floor out. And then it's one of the reasons that it's one of those CMOS batteries, so
Right.
it's really, really thin.
Excellent.
In fact, I mean, if I'd have thought about this, I should have had these running tonight.
Yeah, but the delivery guy brought them not long before we started.
I must admit, yeah, these were they turned up fairly late. But I've got a full interview with Fran Burke. It's already filmed, so we're going to be putting that out next week, I think. But really looking forward to reviewing these. And really looking forward to when the new Class 37 comes out. And actually, it was a very, very open, frank discussion with Fran from Acura Scale, because we talked about things like...
my goodness, thank you so much, Dazza1977.
Oh, my word.
He says, Jenny, this for you to help towards your next train.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much. Maybe I'll put it towards an EFE BT well tank, so I can... Wouldn't it be embarrassing if I'd been like, oh no, well, I think he's really mistaken. The BT well tank's lovely, and then I get it and it's an absolute bag of spanners. They're like, I'm sorry, Sam, you were right, and I was just talking rubbish. But look, thank you ever so much, Dazza1977. That is incredibly generous. Where were we? Ah, yes, the prologue. Other news. Right, there is TV stuff in the offing. I know I can say that much, just can't tell you any details about it. So, yes, I am involved in another TV series. It's filming at the moment. That's all I can tell you about it.
Yeah, you're in the new version of the Magic Roundabout, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're playing the Roundabout.
No, I'm playing a shelf. So yeah, there is Model Railways will be back on the TV at some point, and of course, when we're allowed to tell you about it, we will tell you about it. There is also other news about 2 other TV series, which I can't tell you about. This is really naff news segment. Oh yeah, there's all this great stuff going on, and I'm not allowed to tell you about any of it. I don't know where that voice came from. Really? Richard Swiderski says, cheeky Jen. Oh yeah, I'm cheeky. Oh, really cheeky. What have we got? Oh yes, and Hellion have released images of Sector-era Mark 1s, just arrived for review, the first complete samples of their latest O-Gauge Mark 1 coaches with the new B4 and Commonwealth bogies. These are expanding the range, so we're getting Network Southeast, Regional Railways and Intercity Executive livery. And I'm just looking at the pictures, and these are exquisite. My favourite liveries, actually, I'll be honest with you. Real soft spot for Regional Railways, Intercity, and actually Network Southeast is a close third to those two. I love those liveries. Backman, please put out the Mark 1s in clean, no passengers in, no weathering, clean Regional Railways, because they are like gold dust. They're rocking horse poo. I cannot find Regional Railways Mark 1s anywhere. It's like Backman did. They may even have done 4, but I can't find the it's either a second corridor or a second open. Never comes up second hand. I've got the FK, I've got the BSK, and I've got the BG. That's all I've got in Regional Railways. I do want to make up a full train. I was lucky enough to be able to piece together over about 10 years a full intercity. In fact, no, it was over 15 years. A full intercity rake of Mark 1s from Backman.
Hey, that's a good timetable for Southern Train.
Yeah, but it wasn't Southern Trains. But and actually, it was the second open and second corridor in the intercity were impossible to find. And I was quite lucky that I did buy the restaurant car. I did buy the restaurant car when they were new, because that's actually quite a difficult one to get. And I got the FK as well. Right. Clyde Cobold asks, hi Jenny, is there news of the Hellion Class 86? There may be, but I don't have it. Oh right, apparently we did get approved. Did you have to...
No, that was 17th of November, Jan.
Oh right, do we have to repeal this?
No. Why are you even looking? Just keep talking, I'm set.
Sorry.
For the videos, that's not even the right email address.
Yeah, Gonads 1259, iron ore weighs a ton by volume. When there was a rail strike and road wagons used, they were virtually empty because a small load of ore was too much for the truck suspension. Yeah, iron ore is incredibly dense, and it's why it's a really stupid idea to try and bring it in by road. You just can't really do it. I'm surprised, actually.
It's a slightly less stupid idea than trying to bring it in by rickshaw.
Or by hand. Oh, I've got a handful, it's really heavy. There you are. That'll keep you going for a nanosecond.
Yes, I can make one screw out of that. Thank you very much.
North End Sidings Model Railway is just waiting for somebody to pronounce Backman as Bakeman. Or Batchman.
Or Batman.
Batman. Blah, blah, blah. Right, do we have a lot of videos?
Batman should make a Batman.
Yeah, do we have a lot of videos sent in?
We have...
Is this where we find out?
9.
Oh, do we? Gosh, that's a good turnout, actually. So I'm looking at the time. We should probably start putting out some of these videos to get through them. Always excited to see some of you guys' videos. We've got 324 people in the chat. And don't forget to tickle the like button, share the stream, and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already done so. And Big hello to Sam's Chains, because his ears are probably burning because we mentioned him a lot.
We have mentioned him a lot, but to be honest with you, I think we've defended him as much as criticised him.
Yeah, I must actually get round to getting him on to do an interview. He'd probably go, no, I don't like you. You're always dissing me. No, I don't. Not always. I do stick up for him when people are unjustly criticising him.
Okay, so are we going to start with the thingamajigs?
Pete Clark wants the angle changing, so
that's fine. We can change that once we've done this.
Let's radically change the angle by just make it.
Our first video is Chris's trains with a steampunk O scale 0008 shunter.
Oh, I'm interested for this. So
let's
go on over.
Of this already.
A steampunk Gronk. That is.
Oh,
wow.
That is lovely.
And steampunk. You should actually consider sending this to Hornby's social media. Send them. I think it's something like marketing@hornby.com.
Lionel Trains factory there.
Yeah, they might crop the top off a little bit, but
just a lot. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
That is lovely.
With the flashing lights and everything as well.
Oh, that is
There's
lovely.
a lot going on
and it's got little fins on the back.
Yeah, did you do the sound incident?
Yeah.
Just right. I didn't know. Oh, look at the lights. Wow.
That is wonderful.
I'm liking this.
Jen, I want one.
Yeah.
I want a steampunk Gronky Gronk. That is... Oh. Look at the shading and the
that.
colours. It's so nice.
That is really interesting.
And the Gronks there, they've already got a lot of artistry to them and a lot going on, but to add that little extra, just...
I like the wagons as well.
Finesse.
Oh, Laurie Calvert, I love these. Laurie, of course, being the very talented guy who designed the Hornby steampunk models. And what's interesting actually is he designed much more steampunky models, and then Hornby went, we've got to take these bits off because you can't make it like that, it's too complicated. So the models that were sold weren't quite as intricate as he'd designed.
Gronk it up steampunk style, says Ben Tullett.
Oh, look at the tea drums! Look at the tea urns! Oh, it's the full steampunk experience. This is great.
Britishing it up.
Oh, yes, more tea, Vicar. That is...
Everyone's loving it.
Oh, yeah. Please do send a link to this to Hornby's social media. I'm sure that they love to see the fact that people are really getting into the steampunk vibe.
That was so wonderful. Thank you very much, Chris's Trains.
Bootleg Borto does say, technically, if that's an 08 shunter, shouldn't it be diesel punk? Well, we assume it's running on diesel. It could be steam powered and just very boxy.
If it just happens to look like a Gronk, but it's actually a steam thing, that's fine.
Yeah. But welcome to the inner circle of pedantry. We have cookies.
Flymer Chairman 1 says, somewhere there's a lightning kit missing a few parts.
Richard Swiderski says, is that fourth class wagons? No, fourth class is on the roof.
Fourth class, you get to look at it. Okay, what I've got here is something that...
It's from Gauge Master. Oh, yeah. I thought this...
Flymer Chairman 1, I believe, Eric Bray, whose book we do have, and if he wants to put some links to his Amazon books, that's fine by me.
Scroll down.
He sent us the Gronk story.
Oh, wow.
Which is rather nice. It is on Gauge Master. Lovely.
That is nice, and it's showing some of the models.
This is
There's the old Hornby. I wonder if they've got the Hornby 00 and the Lima models.
This is a very nice.
Oh, there's the Graham Farish one, the later Graham Farish. That's the Daypole O gauge, isn't it? There's the old Triang one that became the Hornby, and is that the Hornby 00? Oh no, that's the Lima. Where's the Hornby 00
Yeah, I haven't seen a Hornby 00. I'm going to enjoy reading that later on. Yeah,
really looking forward to that. So that's available on GaugeMasterRetail.com.
I will copy that into the...
Yeah, copy that into the link. So I'm going to go back to the main views. But yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of people still having trouble with connecting. It looks like a little roller coaster on the stats I'm just looking at. So anybody who's wondering why there's no picture, if you've got no picture, try reloading YouTube. There seems to be a glitch. It's not at our end. It's at YouTube's end.
Okay, and are we ready for another one?
Yeah, no worries. Are we ready? If you bring it up, I will press the button.
North Siding says, was that a cheeky photo of you there, Flyman Chairman? Okay, what have we got this time?
Ben Tullett says, it doesn't say in that Gauge Master info, though, that Zoe Kirk is a huge fan.
My Hornby Green
Oh, wait, I haven't pressed the button. Wind it back.
Sorry. This is from Tim Condrup, and it's his Hornby Green Mallard test run.
Okay, we're good. Let's go.
Here we go. That's a nice looking one.
Again, yeah, that's the Hornby Super Detail one, I believe. And that's Mallard, one that I don't have but need to get. I do need to get more A4s. You can never have too many. Because once you've got them all in one livery, you can get them in a different livery. They've been released in... not all of them carried all liveries, but liveries available. Silver, Garter Blue, Doncaster Green, BR Experimental Blue, BR Experimental Purple, and then early and late Crest BR Green, and also Wartime Austerity Black. Right, Pete Clark says, my internet dropped and had to restart. Yeah, there does seem to be, I don't know whether there's a new game launched or something tonight.
The PS5 came out only a few days ago.
But a few issues with it. I suspect you've got dirty wheels or dirty truck. One of the ways that I found to sort out issues with the wheels is to hold the locomotive in place and let it spin up its wheels, and it kind of scrapes itself clean. I also noticed you've got the Thomas. Oh, you are having some issues there.
I always love Tim's setup though, because it's so colourful.
It's user friendly. There's a lot going on. I noticed as well you've got a Hornby Spencer from Thomas the Tank Engine. They're actually, have you seen the prices that some of those Thomas the Tank Engine models are going for? Murdoch, the 9F, they're going for over £1,000.
1,000 squiddly diddlies, my goodness.
But no, that is a lovely model of Mallard, I have to say. I really do like a good Mallard. Right, Withen Model Railway says, I think I have one of each livery except BR Blue. Yeah, the BR Blue and the BR Purple do seem quite tricky, although I did find out that the one that's in the current Hornby range in Experimental Purple isn't the first time they've put it out in that livery. So, really quite interesting. Matt Ovell says, well done for sharing video of running issues. We all have them. Yeah, definitely. And you've seen the problems that I occasionally have up there, where everything decides to get in on the act and make a hash of things. Wild Bank Colliery says, what do you want to... Oh, sorry, you're answering somebody else's question. And Flymer Chairman 1, thank you ever so much for sharing the link as well. Richard Swiderski, that is a Mallard, definitely. 60022. I would say you've got dirty wheels or possibly even a pickup that's not touching the backs of the wheels properly. So I suspect it needs a bit of TLC. Yeah, I'm assuming you're running on. So it's got through the point now. Point's okay now. Once you get it running, I think that's a pickup issue. You notice it's stopping when it gets to the curve, and that's normally because the wheels move slightly and they kind of pull away from the springy phosphor bronze bits, and there's a way of just slowly bending them out. What you've got to do is underneath the loco, upside down, and just move the wheel set from side to side and look down the back. And if you can see that brake contact with the back of the wheel at any point during the full sideways travel of the wheel, then you know that actually you've got a pickup issue and it'll be intermittently breaking contact and losing power. Clive Gobold says, guys, I must go now. See you all next week. Stay safe and well, guys. Good night from Northern Ireland. Look, you take care. And thank you for joining. We've had a great night. I know we've had ups and downs because of YouTube connection issues that a lot of people have been having. But hopefully next week it won't be too bad. We're going to be picking a theme on the Facebook page, the Jennifer Monday Club Facebook page. So don't forget to vote there for these. We're getting a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine as well, actually. Is that a link or is it? Yeah, that's a link to the YouTube video. So who have we got up next?
Trying to load it up. I just had to quickly grab something on eBay. You see.
Simon Trains MRS. Now I'm just going to move over to here, and I can see that the J-cloth and PVA method is getting good use there for the scenery. You can see in the background that's Percy. Gosh, I had one of those as a kid.
Oh.
And then we've got an A4 in front. Is that Union of South Africa? I didn't quite catch the number.
Right, I've just picked up something that I have been looking for ages. It came up on my eBay watch list.
60,008. I'm trying to think which one that is.
You guys may recall from the 80s the Thomas the Tank Engine action game.
No.
I
think that's
loved it as a kid, and I finally managed to catch a copy cheap on eBay. So I picked that up. I'm very happy, and perhaps we'll have a game of it on a live stream sometime.
Ken Robertson says, hi there, new Monday night watcher, seen other vids, really good, thank you ever so much. Always great to have new faces in as well. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you've not already done
We're
so.
getting in very early on this one. That's an interesting build.
It is, yeah, and I like, see the scenery, the J-cloth method that Alan Reynolds suggested.
Well.
It does work really well.
So,
Dwight D. Eisenhower says Simon Trains MRS. Excellent.
Well, he's in the chat, my goodness. Simon Trains MRS, send us some more videos of your progress. That'll be interesting to see. Oh, my back and side are now hurting.
Oh, yeah. Again, another one I must get. There's so many A4s that I want to get. There are certain classes of locomotives that I do find myself constantly happy to collect more of. Class 8 shunters, there's one. The A4 Pacifics as well. And then there's other things like, for example, 9Fs. I'll probably not get another 9F because I've got one. And like a J15, I'm happy with my one J15. Terriers, though, I could be persuaded to get lots and lots of Terriers. And I really do have a soft spot for standard Class 4 tanks and Class 25s as well. Never have too many Class 25s. Class 37s, yeah, I'll obviously be getting the new Acura Scale one, but I'm quite happy with. I've got three of the Bachmann ones, and quite happy with them. Right, so let's have a look. This is Alan in the loft.
J-cloth Alan.
Alan Reynolds, the man himself. So this is
Buckland Junction, Loft Model Railway number 7.
Okay, so we've clicked over, hit play. Oh wow, I'm loving that viaduct you've got there. That is nice with the bridges as well. Yeah, the bridges are always a great focal point.
The weathering on the bridge as well is exceptional.
So there is a lot. Oh, and hey, there's a lot going on there. And you've not used J-cloths on your mountain. But it's a really great way of constructing a lightweight but strong countryside. I'm guessing you're going to use various materials, PVA and J-cloth, to bridge the gaps. But what it means is you can get some very nice, dramatic scenery. Now, the woodworking element in this, there's some great woodworking going on there. It can be a little bit complicated. I like the way that you've got those flanges. Now, flange, that's a good word. Write it down. We must use it more in everyday conversation. The little plywood flanges, it's a great way of using up plywood offcuts and use them to strengthen your build. So there's quite a few in there. And you've got the tracks. Presumably it will ultimately be in a tunnel going underneath there. And I see you've got all your electrics in as well. Obviously very important to get all them in and working before you start hiding things away. Right. Simon Trains MRS, the plan for the video was supposed to be the A4, but it was being naughty, so Percy was the substitute. There's a lot of people having some issues with A4s. I must admit, my Kingfisher in Garter Blue was troublesome. I had to swap that out. And I also had issues with Dominion of New Zealand not getting traction. This is a great layout.
Enormous. Alan, you've got a massive layout here.
I'm loving this, actually. This is going to be an absolutely great layout. Very nice strong as well. Yeah. Oh, well, he's standing on it. And this is the thing.
Jenny, you would never get. Whoa.
Light but strong. there is so much going on up here. Oh wow,
Goodness.
this is great. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how this develops, because this is going to be an amazing layout.
Try and get yourself an invite once all the lockdown's over, so you can go and see it.
We do need to go out on the road and visit people.
We started that series through the train room door.
Yeah.
Where you were visiting people, and you only ever got to visit one guy. And then the universe went, no.
Yeah. Big hello to Austin Byrne. It's great to see you in. Yeah, North End Sidings, Motherwell, flange.
So much
Peter
stuff,
Watson though
huge.
says you can never have too many bullied Pacifics. Actually, that's another one. I've got one. I'm good with the one.
Getting right in there as well. Oof.
There's certainly a lot of work gone into the track and electrics. Always very important. And removable walls.
So that you can get in and fix stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
That's something that you had on Trinity Road, isn't it? You could remove the bridges.
Yeah, it was important because you just knew that there would be a problem underneath. And it also meant that I was able to salvage that with the station building, and that has reappeared up here. It's one of the bits of Weir Yard, actually, that I was really pleased with. I'm loving the woodworking here. And that tunnel portal as well is really nice as well.
The bits that he's finished and weathered are just amazing. I like this. North End Siding says, through the keyhole, who has a layout like this?
And a big hello
I can't do the accent.
No, you can't. Angus's Trains, big hello to you. Great to see you again.
Shall we jump over to the next one?
Yeah, let's move. But that was great. Thank you for showing us that. I really do look forward.
Buckland Junction.
I really do. I'm looking forward to seeing. What have you done? Have you broken it?
No, I closed the emails.
Oh right, that's not good. Darren Mole says I'm going to be using real rock in my scenery. One thing I will say about using real rock.
Remember not to roll.
A, it can be quite heavy, and B, it doesn't necessarily scale well. So what I would actually suggest to you is try getting the Woodland Scenics rock molds. I'm just trying to find one in here. On Project 009, you'll be seeing in, I think it's not the next video, but the video afterwards. They're like these rubber molds, and you cast plaster into these and you make your own rocks. They're perfectly to scale, and when painted up with watercolour washes, they come out really, really well. And they're a lot lighter, a lot easier to use. So I would say to you, perhaps consider the Woodland Scenics casting your own rocks. And also
you had a real good time with those and got great effects.
They did turn out really well. And once you've got the initial outlay for the moulds, it's about £10 for a mould. You can reuse it over and over and over and over again. It is actually a really great way of doing things. Rule 1 Motherwell is good old Woodland Scenics. I'm a huge fan of Woodland Scenics and their entire range. And I'd love to actually do some work with them and actually maybe do a build for them. But I know that obviously in the UK have to go through Bachman and still finding their feet with YouTube and that.
It takes a while. I mean, remember the first ones we did?
Yeah, but
they were not good.
No, but see, if Bachman's looking, want to work with a YouTuber, I would love to. Certainly on a Woodland Scenics build, happy to do that with you. I
don't know why, but it's just suddenly decided that it wants to show videos inside my emails rather than actually jumping to YouTube.
Oh, I hate stuff like that. It tries to be helpful and it's anything.
Don't change how things work. Okay, this is Natty the Mayor.
Right, okay.
From, I can't even read that. Can you read from there?
Bagnall and 06 shunting, and that's Poshington 01. So, Poshington 01, we are ready to go. Just make it full screen, and we are live.
Now, this is an interesting
It's a lovely little shunting layout, actually, and that Bagnall locomotive is part of the Hornby Railroad range, but it's a surprisingly nice locomotive. There's a lot going on here, plenty of shunting opportunity, and it's one of the things. It's like it's very easy to get carried away with massive layouts, but there's a lot of fun potential with a small shunting layout. So I really do like what you've done with this. There's a lot of operational interest, even though it's a small space. But a layout this kind of size means that it's really great for, transportation. You can fit it across the back seat of a car. So if you're in, say, a rented accommodation, maybe a student accommodation, it's a great way for keeping up with your hobby without needing a permanent home for a layout. And so you've got all your points electrically operated, and I'm assuming that you've edited out the bit where you uncouple them, but certainly you can see how there's a lot of scope here. And what I really like is you've built in the run round loop. You can see there the run round loop. Always really important in my mind. I built one into Grove Street Yard. It does create a lot of operational interest. But that locomotive is actually running incredibly well.
It's a lovely layout.
Yeah.
I like the colours around the track and the ballast. The ground isn't the same colour everywhere. It's got a bit of
It's nicely done.
Yeah, it makes it look real.
Yeah, and it's colours and textures that's really important.
Exactly.
The old Class 6 shunter now. It's not. No, I don't know anything that isn't public. But I have a sneaky suspicion that if the Class 2 shunter from Hellion is successful in 00, then a Class 6 shunter is probably high on their consideration list. The big finger of doom.
Sometimes you just got to get in there and give it a smack.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question while you're on. Mark Holt says, what would be the smallest shunting layout that I could do in 00, but which is suitable for A4s and large diesels rather than just all 4Rs?
You can make a layout in a box file, and you could have like a workshop, as in like so part of a larger locomotive works. But you would be limited realistically to just shunting the locos in and out from something like a loco cassette. So don't knock the idea of building a small scenic diorama that effectively works in a box file. There's lots of people who have done these with some great results. In fact, actually, Callum Wilcox on SDJR 7F88 has done I think it's the Scale Scenes Canal Basin model, and that's really, really tiny. And he got an amazing result with that. Not really suitable for an A4, but certainly you could easily see something like a Class 31 or a Class 20, perhaps, shunting around that. He also did the Fry's at Keynsham layout, and that is an amazing layout. And certainly there are photographs of prototypes of Class 22s, I think it is. It's either Class 22, 21 or 29. I think it's a Class 22 working there. So his tiny little layout is exquisite, amazing modelling, but you could conceivably run larger diesels on that as well. Right, are we ready for the next one?
This one is North End Sidings with his new to him Class 66, which is improved. Right,
you hit play. And here we are. So we've...
wow, that looks real.
It is, yeah. And also, don't forget, if you like any of these channels that you see, don't forget to subscribe to them, check them out.
Yeah.
So the Bachmann Class 66.
This is a nice looking one.
I've heard a lot of good things about the Bachmann 66.
Love this layout. Every time we see it, it's like, oh my goodness, it just looks
like that
so
brickwork
good
on the platform as well.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's possibly something from the Scale Scenes range, but it looks really nice. The Bachmann 66, a lot of people have asked me about going modern image, as in post-privatisation. And I'm not adverse to the idea of reviewing models, but it's outside of my area of interest. But I am warming to the Class 66, it must be said. Now, we did have the Hatton's Class 66 make an appearance on Weir Yard. I was very lucky to be given the opportunity to review that for Hatton's.
You were almost overjoyed with it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And actually, we do have the Silverlink livery Class 121. Yeah, and that's a good tip, that gently bending the pickups out. It's always a good first port of call if you're getting erratic running, is to check the pickups, the wipers.
Don't get Smart Railway says if you like it, get a 59 then, since they were introduced in the 80s.
I know, in Foster Yeoman livery. I like your very heavily weathered wagons in the siding behind looking like condemned, withdrawn wagons. They really just work well.
You know, running lights on stuff.
Yeah.
It's a nice addition that really does enhance the thing.
And it's another area where DCC does bring stuff to the party.
Yes, because on DC you'd have to take it off the layout and flick the switches.
One thing I will say to you, rather than using super glue on the threads of screws, which can introduce other issues, think about getting something like Loctite nut locking compound. It's what you use on things like cars. When you screw a bolt in, you put Loctite on the thread, and it's like super glue, but when you come to undo it, what it's actually doing is it stops the bolt from unscrewing itself with vibration, but it's very easy to crack it free with a wrench and take it back out without causing any lasting issues. So it may be worth checking out a product like Loctite, sold somewhere like Whole Foods for doing something like that.
Look, the way he's filmed that,
and it scale speeds.
Looks so real.
Yeah, and scale speeds as well. So really
when I
great.
looked up from the comments and saw that, the way he's got the background faded out and blurred compared to the foreground, that looked real.
Mark Holt says, did the hubcaps fall off your 66 demonstrator? I have mine delivered by Hattons, but I've not dared to open them yet. They did, actually. Now, there's a long story attached to this, and it actually, Sam came out of it looking really well, because what happened was we were given the brief that, on the demonstrator, the rotating hubs may come off, but they'll be fine on the production one. So diligently, 2 of mine fell off. I retrieved them, and I didn't actually mention them in the review. Sam, I believe, did, and actually he called it right, because on the production models they did fall off for a lot of people. So I have to say he went against the briefing, but he did call it correctly. It was a bit embarrassing for Hattons. But yes, they have an issue, but a little dab of super glue should fix it. It's not a terminal issue. Just don't lose the... I don't know why it keeps doing that over there. It's not a terminal issue.
Now we have 2 more videos to have a look at, but before we get there, I want to have a quick look at the game I've just picked up cheap off eBay. I've been looking for it for ages, and I'm trying to find it on this long thing about ancient games. This.
Okay, so
I'm going to bring this up on screen now. Yep.
Okay, so have you just bought one of these?
Yeah, I've been looking for it for years, and I finally got one in good condition. This is the Thomas the Tank Engine action game. I adored this when I was a kid.
I'd never heard of this.
I had it as a kid, and it is great.
How does it work?
You play as one of those 4 little choo-choos. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
Well, no, I mean, like one of them looks to be, is it Bertie?
Yes, there's Thomas and 3 of his friends, and you have to get to certain stations when you move around to pick up some of these people. You can only pick up your own colour. And it's just a lot of fun. And I used to love this when I was 5. I haven't played it for 35 years.
I have to say, I have never heard it. It's from Waddington, so it's, yeah. How strange.
It's fairly rare, which is why it's taken me years to get a copy.
Yeah, Southern Train Girl doesn't remember it either. And it's new to me, folks. And yeah, I did like Thomas the Tank Engine back in the day, but you've got to remember, I am in my 40s. My 40th birthday was quite some time ago.
17 years.
And, shut up. And basically, when I was young, Thomas the Tank Engine wasn't the big deal that it is now. I can remember like the Thomas loco, and I remember Percy coming out, and that was a big deal for me. And I had the books, and this was before Christopher Awdry started writing more. So officially, Tramway Engines, I think it was the last Thomas the Tank Engine book, and they were just the books. And then, whilst I was a child, they first came on TV, and that was as a it was like a live action thing with Gauge 1 models, a lot of 10mm kits repurposed, because that's what they could get. What are we looking at on screen?
This is a photo sent by Logan Clary of a Dalek causing a little bit of trouble.
Yes.
Has he arrived in Only Fools and Horses? That's Trotter's Independent
Yeah.
Traders there.
Why is Theo Me posting what appears to be lines of code?
I don't know.
I think you're going to have to stop that, otherwise it's going to incur the wrath of some of the mods. Flymo Chairman 1 says, my son got the Thomas and Bertie race set. That wasn't yesterday and it's long gone.
Are you back on showing your yard?
I am, yes. So,
Okay. So I will now jump to the final video.
Map the Dragon Railway says, thank you to the 2 people who've just subbed, and thank you to Flymo Chairman 1 for sharing my channel link. It means a ton to me.
This is not a video. Our final one has already passed. This is a link from who sent this? Richard Swiderski to a Silver King Hornby.
Ah, but it's the wrong livery, but the sentiment is appreciated. This is in the kind of the silver livery.
Silver Jubilee 80th anniversary. My goodness.
Oh my word. It's what I want is actually the one in the green livery, pretty much to match Guillemot that's going round. From what I remember from when I was a child. So in fact, if I go to that, you'll just be seeing
my
Guillemot.
goodness, I'm now getting hiccups.
Yeah, so if that's the last one, get back to the. Actually, I just noticed the time. We're doing really well, but look, thank you ever so much,
that is
everybody.
all of them now.
So we've been through all of the stuff. Flymo Chairman 1, absolutely. Send video links only as its URL to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. Right.
Theo was just joking. From what I can tell, it appears to be some code for a Dalek.
Oh, right.
Because he said he missed off the bits if true, destroy.
Southern Train Girl says that's on the Olivia's Trains website.
It is.
And again, Olivia's Train does tend to foster a very polarised views. If you read the thread on RM Web, I have no opinion on the matter, it has to be said. I don't think I've ever bought anything from Olivia's Trains. I've neither had good nor bad experiences, so I don't really pass any judgment on it. But there is a thread on RM Web if you want to read about all that. But certainly they have commissioned some amazing models. They commissioned from Hellion the Class 77 and Class 76. I do have one of the Class 76s. And it is an amazing, great model. I do love the Class 76, it has to be said. So there is some great stuff comes out from there. But look, just notice it's 9:05, so it's been great having your company. I know we've had a few technical issues. But don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And next week, we don't know the theme yet. If you want to head on over to the Facebook page, to the Jenny Kirk Monday Club
and then
Facebook page,
click on the Gronk Takeover.
No. What I will do is possibly tomorrow I will put up a poll and we'll come up with some ideas for a loose theme for next week. Now we've had A4 Pacifics today. So what I might do is, I know that I think it was Intercity scored very, very highly in the 2nd place, so that may well be the front running option, who knows. But we will put up a poll and you can vote on what theme you would like for the next Monday Club. But until next time,
I believe the theme should be Exterminate.
No, stop messing about. So it just leaves me to say thank you all ever so much for joining us, and thank you also as well all the people who very generously donated on Super Chat. And until next time, you take great care of yourself. It's me, Jenny Kirk, and the ever incorrigible Cupboard Monkey saying bye for now.
Bye.